Take a look at this picture. This is Klaus Barbie, or the Butcher of Lyon, France, second largest city in France. He is a notorious World War II era German Nazi and grave human rights violator. And towards the end of World War II, U.S. Army Counterintelligence Corps facilitated his safe passage out of the area and into South America so he could avoid prosecution. Reportedly, he helped provide security for this man, Carlos Escobar, and he helped the U.S. and Bolivia eventually capture and slay that communist thorn in our side, Che Guevara, and his role in that is depicted in the French film My Enemy's Enemy. Barbie was such a villain that even the French wanted to execute him. They convicted him twice in absentia and sentenced him to capital punishment, but later France basically revoked their capital punishment. And they eventually did capture him, and he served a life sentence, which for him ended up being from 1981 to 1991. He died at the age of 71 in prison of cancer, and the army offered their regrets to the French for protecting Barbie. But in geopolitics, the US and especially the CIA play a devil you know versus the devil you don't know game, and they knew that while Barbie was a diehard Nazi and anti-Semite, he hated communists even worse, so they just went ahead and went with him. And communism, especially in the Soviet Union, would become a rising threat for the US and the CIA because from 1941 to 1945, the US gave Russia what would be in 2023 dollars about $800 billion in Lend-Lease material aid or support. Talk about flip the script or bite the hand that feeds you, arguably, at least partially because of that we helped bail them out, Communist Soviet Union is now our new nemesis. And in order to compete with this, well, we need the CIA's Operation Paperclip to bring in about 1,600 former Nazi German scientists to help us in our aerospace and defense technologies. One of the more notorious of these scientists would be Wernher von Braun, who held a pretty high-ranking position in NASA. The next thing you know, we've got Korea, then Vietnam, also activity in Iran, and the activity involving Klaus Barbie in South America would eventually lead to CIA-type operations like Operation Condor in South America in about 1975. We'll get more into Operation Condor in a future post. Now take a look at a picture of this man, because I predict that this is your next president. Partially because of the surge in popularity due to pictures that are so iconic of him pumping his fist while he's got blood on his face. And now we've got Senator Hawley reporting that he's got Secret Service members that are spilling more dirt about security at the Trump rally. Here's the full meat, or most of the meat, of that article from The Hill. Democratic leaders are bailing out on Biden and calling for him to withdraw from the presidential race. He said a few days ago that he was not going to do that, barring a medical condition, and then like a day or two later it was reported that he supposedly got COVID, and now many publications, to include The Hill, are saying that Biden is expected to make a major announcement in coming days, and they mean over the weekend. Many are speculating that he will announce his withdrawal from the presidential race. Biden was reportedly about 30 points behind Trump. I say partially because of the surge in Trump's popularity post-assassination survival that was in such epic fashion, at least iconic. They're making the t-shirts and memes and bumper stickers over this. Now, regardless of who's president, Biden needed a few miracles. Biden needed a peace agreement in the Middle East. He needs public perception of significant gains or victories by the Ukrainians in the Russia-Ukraine war. He needs an economic upturn. None of that is going to happen. And outside of that, he needed Trump to go away one way or another, either by prison or shuffling off this mortal coil, neither of which appear to be happening. But regardless of who's president in the next 4 years, by all crime and other stats and data, the joblessness, homelessness, fentanyl issue, border security issue, and crime stats look to remain about status quo for the next 4 years. So you can expect that. And again, regardless of who's president, I don't believe they're going to be able to make a significant impact on any of those items from a homeland security perspective. Going back to the CIA and PSYOPs, you have at least 2 former CIA that I can find so far on X that are doing basically PSYOP. They're trying to influence the public. They are extremely polarizing and divisive. You have the likes of Gail Hilt, who literally posted that Trump took a bullet because he's desperate to stay out of prison. She deleted that post, it looks like, and she says, hey, context people, I meant he's running for president to avoid prison sentence. General Michael Hayden is crying about Elon Musk posts where he's saying they're taking Biden fishing soon. This is what you've got to deal with if you're in the public and you're trying to make sense of the politics. And lastly, you have former White House employee and CIA analyst accused of spying for South Korea, Sue Mai Terry, 54-year-old former senior White House employee and CIA analyst. She's spying for South Korea. And what was she getting for spying for South Korea? Expensive handbags. Yeah, Dolce & Gabbana, Louis Vuitton. I know some CIA analysts, and they're very sharp. And what you see from Gail Hilt and what we're seeing now from the indicted Sue Mai Terry, this is highly atypical of a CIA analyst. Have a great day.